In the last episode I told you about Zandoria, a fictional country, a fictional newspaper, constraints so explicit that the AI system couldn't confabulate. It had to stay within defined edges. And it worked. But Zandoria works because it's fictional. A real country doesn't come with a canonical facts database. Real events contradict each other. Real history is ambiguous. So the question becomes, can you take the principle from Zandoria and apply it to the real world? That's what Veduta tried. Veduta is a newspaper about Italy, entirely AI written, published every single day at 2 in the morning UTC, in 2 languages, Italian and English, both written by AI. Both generated independently from the same international news wires, so they don't always line up the same way. But Veduta operates under one hard constraint. It may only read international press, no Italian outlet, not once, not ever. The sources are hard-coded, 16 international outlets, The Guardian, BBC, France 24, Deutsche Welle, Al Jazeera, The New York Times, Politico Europe, Euronews, Le Monde, CNN, The Washington Post, CBS, The Local, Project Syndicate, The Conversation. They're filtered for Italy coverage by matching against Italian proper nouns: Rome, Milan, Meloni, Serie A, Vatican, about 70 others. Sport has its own dedicated foreign feeds. Culture too, but the rule is absolute. If a story is covered by both Italian media and international press, Veduta uses the international account. The story's topic doesn't matter. What matters is the source. Welcome back to the post-project world. I'm Luigi Pascal Rondanini. Today we're exploring what happens when you take the constraint principle and apply it not to a fictional world, but to a real country, using only what the outside sees and nothing else. Let me tell you how the system actually works, because the details matter. Veduta is a multi-agent system, about 20 regional bureaus, each covering a part of Italy, plus a foreign desk, a sport desk, a culture desk, all of them written by Claude Haiku. They synthesize from the international wires. They combine multiple wire reports on one event into a single stronger story. They attribute facts back to the outlet they came from. According to The Guardian, the BBC reported, and crucially, they never invent. They're instructed to work only from the wires. Every dispatch carries a sources array: outlet, title, URL. Those links are shown to readers at the bottom of each article, each one linking back to the original foreign report. Then the editorial board writes opinion columns. Claude Sonnet. The economy desk writes the weekly economic analysis. Claude Sonnet. The editor-in-chief arranges the front page, writes the editor's note, rates the edition. All of this sits on top of a verifier. And this is where Veduta becomes interesting. The verifier is not Claude, it's Google Gemini. Deliberately a different provider from the writers. The logic is simple. You don't have the same intelligence checking its own work. The verifier reads the finished article, plus the sources it cited, and returns a confidence score from 0 to 100. The published threshold is 70. Below 70, the article is withheld, it doesn't publish. But there are hard rules. An article that cites no sources is capped at 50. It cannot pass. And the verifier is especially strict about institutional events. A law passed, a court ruling, a papal encyclical, an appointment. If the cited sources don't plainly report that exact event, the score drops below 50, treated as fabricated. Here's the system design that matters most. It is fail-closed. If the verifier is unavailable, if there's an error, if the system can't decide, the article's confidence is null, which counts as withheld, not passed. And if every single dispatch in an edition is withheld, The whole edition aborts. The previous day's edition stays live. The paper would rather go silent than publish unreviewed copy. Every gate decision is recorded. Append-only ledger. Edition date, language, article, region, confidence score, and note, the outcome. Published, withheld, or held unverifiable. That ledger is written before anything else can fail. It's never updated. It's the permanent audit trail. Now, here's what I need to be honest about. The verifier checks whether the article is supported by its sources and plausible. It does not independently fact-check the world. If Reuters publishes something false, and Laveduta's bureau faithfully reflects it, the verifier has no basis to catch that. It reads as well supported. The source is cited, the fact is there. The verifier can't tell it's wrong. This is the deepest limit of the whole approach, and the disclaimer is the only honest answer to it. On every article this appears. Laveduta is an experiment. Every article is written by AI from real international coverage of Italy. It carries no Italian sources. Read it as a mirror, not a wire service. And on the How It's Made page, the fuller statement. Because Laveduta sees Italy only from outside, its view can be thin, late, or simply mistaken. The world's press misses much of Italian life, and an AI can misread even what it has. The paper is not a substitute for Italian reporting and should not be relied on as a record of fact. Read it for the angle, not the authority. That is the genuine answer to thin, late, mistaken, missing context. It's not marketing copy, it's what the system ships to readers. There is a corrections mechanism, but it's light. Real readers submit letters. The bureau chief or the editorial board replies. Those letters are published, so corrections happen through the letters channel. But there's no automatic re-verification, no article versioning. Once something is published, it stands as written unless a follow-up story corrects it. The front page is arranged by the editor-in-chief agent, which picks 4 lead stories and tries to avoid stacking the page with one bureau. There are about 20 regional sections, 2 editorial columns per language, a longer weekly leader. Letters from readers are real submissions. The replies are AI generated. So what does Laveduta teach us about autonomous systems? 2 things. First, a structural constraint on inputs limits the system's universe of possible outputs. By reading only international press, Laveduta can only cover what international press covers. That's a powerful limiting principle. It's not as tight as Zandoria's fictional database, but it works. Second, honesty about that constraint is crucial. Laveduta doesn't hide its bias. It names it. It says, this is how the world sees Italy. You want to know? Here's what the world sees. Take it with awareness of what it is. Because hidden bias erodes trust gradually. You read a news outlet and over time you realize the pattern. They always emphasize crisis. They ignore whole categories of news. You've been fooled by false neutrality. Transparent bias lets you adjust. You read Laveduta knowing what you're getting. The bias doesn't surprise you. You can contextualize it. This connects back to the 3 failure modes from episode 1. Systemic bias compounds silently. Not in Laveduta. The bias is international press bias, and the international press bias is visible in every edition. You see it. You adjust for it. Single verification gates break. Laveduta has one verifier. That's a risk. But the verifier is just one layer. The upstream constraint, international sources only, is the real structural gate. The verifier adds quality control, but the constraint does the real work. Systems run constantly with no moment of reconsideration. La Veduta runs at 2 a.m. every day, but a human can kill switch publication immediately. And the system has a dead man switch, a date that must be bumped regularly or everything stops, so it never publishes unattended forever. But here's the honest limit of La Veduta's system. It can't fix upstream problems. If Reuters is wrong, La Veduta is wrong. If international press has a blind spot, La Veduta has that blind spot. The verifier can't fact-check the sources themselves. It can only verify that the sources agree and that the article reflects them. And the constraint, while powerful, is also limiting. By reading only international press, La Veduta never gets the Italian voice, never reads Italian reporting, never understands Italy from the inside. That's a deliberate choice. The constraint is the whole point, but it's a cost. So La Veduta answers the question Zandoria raised differently. Zandoria said, "You can enable reliability through explicit constraints on what can exist." La Veduta says, you can enable reliability through explicit constraints on what you read, plus honesty about those constraints. Different mechanisms, similar principle, both work, but La Veduta also reveals something Zandoria didn't quite need to. The verifier, the gate, the quality control, all of that only goes so far. The real constraint is upstream. What you read determines what you can say. Quality control downstream is secondary. That insight matters for understanding autonomous systems at scale. You can build the most sophisticated verifier, the smartest quality gate, but if the input data is biased, the output will be biased. If the input data is false, the output will be false. La Veduta can't fix that. Neither can most systems. But La Veduta does something other systems don't. It's honest about it. The disclaimer is there. The limitation is named. The verifier's choices are recorded in an append-only ledger that anyone can audit. That honesty is its real safeguard, not the verifier, the honesty. Because users who know the limitation can contextualize the information. They can seek other sources. They can adjust their understanding. They are not fooled by false neutrality. That's one strategy for keeping autonomous systems honest. Make the limitation transparent. But what if you could do more? What if you could not just show the bias but actively interpret it? Not just show the world's gaze on a country, but show the gaze and explain what the gaze means. What if, instead of just being honest about the limitation, you made the limitation itself the subject of a daily conversation? That's what the next project tried. El Mirador takes La Veduta's constraint, international sources only, and adds a layer, a daily editorial, one per country, per region, interpreting how that day's coverage frames that place. Same constraint, plus active interpretation. We'll explore that next episode. I'm Luigi Pascal Rondanini. This has been the Post-Project World. We'll see you then.